Aquarius doesn't fear emotions. They fear losing control of them. Watch them in a moment of vulnerability. Someone just said something that hurt, something real. And for half a second, just half, you see it register. The pain flickers across their face, then it's gone, not buried, analyzed, turned into data, studied from a distance, like they're observing someone else's nervous system malfunction. They'll tell you later what they felt. Perfectly articulated, intellectually sound. I noticed I experienced a stress response when you said that. Interesting, like they're narrating a documentary about a stranger's emotional life. That's not emotional intelligence. That's emotional surveillance. Everyone sees the detachment. The Aquarius who stays calm in crisis, who can discuss their own trauma like it's a case study, who says things like, "I've processed that," when you ask how they're doing. They're logical, rational, above the mess of human emotion, and people admire them for it. You're so evolved. You don't let things get to you. I wish I could be that detached. Detached. That's the word everyone uses. And Aquarius, they accept it, wear it like armor. Act like rising above emotions is enlightenment. Like observing your feelings instead of feeling them is growth. But here's what nobody sees: the terror that hits when something makes them feel before they can think. When grief doesn't wait for permission. When love doesn't submit to analysis. When anger erupts before they can intellectualize it away. That's when the system crashes. Because Aquarius didn't build detachment to be rational. They built it to survive. And now they're so far removed from their own emotional life, they don't know how to get back. Don't know if they want to. Don't know if there's anything left down there worth retrieving. They learned it early. Feelings were dangerous, messy, uncontrollable. The people around them who felt deeply, those people got hurt, got abandoned, got destroyed by their own hearts. So Aquarius made a choice, a brutal one. They'd feel sure, but only from a distance, only after processing, only when they could name it, categorize it, understand exactly what was happening and why. They turned their inner life into a research project. Every emotion became a specimen to examine. Every relationship became an experiment to observe. Every moment of pain became data to collect and file away for late analysis, and it worked. They didn't fall apart like everyone else, didn't get blindsided by heartbreak, didn't lose themselves in love or grief or rage. They stayed intact, functional, in control. But here's what they won't tell you: they're not in control of their emotions. They're in hiding from them. Because real control, that's feeling something fully and choosing how to respond. That's letting grief move through you and surviving it. That's loving someone completely and trusting yourself to handle whatever comes. But Aquarius can't do that, won't do that. Because feeling something fully means giving up control. Means surrendering to something bigger than their intellect. Means being human instead of being above it. And they're terrified of being human, so they observe, they analyze. They create elaborate frameworks to explain exactly why they're feeling what they're feeling. When actually feeling it would take 10 seconds and move on. But that 10 seconds, that's the scariest thing they can imagine. 10 seconds of pure emotion, unfiltered, unanalyzed, uncontrolled. They'd rather spend 10 years thinking about it. And here's the part that destroys everything, the layer that even Aquarius doesn't see about themselves. They're not afraid of emotions because emotions are messy. They're afraid of emotions because emotions are proof they're ordinary. The detachment, the observation, the intellectual distance, that makes them special, different, evolved beyond the chaos everyone else drowns in. It's their identity, their superiority, their whole sense of self. If they let themselves feel like everyone else, raw, uncontrolled, messy, then what makes them different? What makes them valuable? What justifies the years they've spent constructing this observatory to watch their own life from behind glass? Nothing. They're just another person feeling things. Ordinary, common, human, and they've spent so long being the detached one. The rational one. The one who doesn't let emotions control them, that being ordinary feels like annihilation. So they keep observing, keep analyzing, keep turning every feeling into a thought problem to solve. Because at least that version of them is interesting. At least that version of them is worth something. Even if that version of them is completely alone. Aquarius doesn't just observe their emotions, they observe their entire life. And somewhere, in all that observing, they forgot how to live it. They've convinced themselves this is wisdom. I don't react, I respond. I create space between stimulus and reaction. I don't let my emotions dictate my behavior. It sounds healthy, mature, like they've figured out something the rest of us are too primitive to understand. But watch what happens when someone actually gets close, when someone sees past the analysis. When someone says, I don't want to hear what you think about what you felt. I want to know what you actually felt. They can't answer. Not won't, can't, because they genuinely don't know anymore. They've been translating emotions into thoughts for so long, they've lost the ability to feel without filtering. Lost the ability to just be sad without understanding why. To just be angry without a thesis. To just love without a framework. And the worst part, they know they're doing it. They can see themselves doing it, in real time. That's the curse of Aquarius. They are self-aware enough to watch themselves disappear, but not brave enough to stop it. Because stopping means something worse than loneliness. Stopping means finding out that underneath all the observation, all the analysis, all the intellectual distance, they're just scared. Desperately, ordinarily, humanly scared. Scared of being hurt. Scared of being abandoned. Scared of needing someone and having that person leave. Scared of the chaos of being alive without a control panel, but admitting fear. That's an emotion. A messy one. One that doesn't have a neat solution or a philosophical framework. One that just sits in your chest and hurts until it doesn't. And Aquarius would rather die than sit with something that just hurts. So they keep the glass between them and their own life. Keep watching, keep analyzing. Keep building more sophisticated ways to explain why they can't just feel. They're not living, they're narrating, and the tragedy is they know it. David was 37 when his father died. He handled it perfectly, made the arrangements, organized the funeral, gave a eulogy that made everyone cry, thanked people for coming, went home, went back to work the next week. Everyone said the same thing. You're so strong, you're holding it together so well, and David would nod, smile slightly, say something like, I'm processing it in my own way. 6 months later, his sister came over, found him sitting on the couch, staring at nothing. You okay? Yeah, just thinking. She sat down next to him, waited, then said the thing nobody else had said. You haven't cried yet. Have you? It wasn't a question. David looked at her, opened his mouth to explain, to tell her about grief theory, about how everyone processes differently, about how he'd read that some people experience delayed emotional responses and that was completely normal. And David, stop. He stopped. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to have a framework for it. You just have to feel it. And that's when something broke, not dramatically, not with crying or collapse. Just a quiet realization that settled over him like ash. He didn't know how. He genuinely didn't know how to feel something without thinking about it first, without understanding it, without controlling it. His father was dead, and David was so busy analyzing grief that he'd never actually grieved. He looked at his sister, said something he'd never said out loud before. I don't know how to just feel things anymore. I don't remember how. She didn't try to fix it, just nodded. Like she'd been waiting years for him to say it. Here's what's actually happening in Aquarius, and this is the part nobody wants to hear. They're not protecting themselves from pain. They're protecting themselves from being like everyone else. The detachment isn't a shield. It's a pedestal. It's what keeps them special, superior, different. If they feel things like everyone else, if they cry at sad movies and get overwhelmed by love and feel rage without a 5-point analysis of its sociological origins, then they're just another person stumbling through life. Just another human who doesn't have it figured out. And they've built their entire identity on having it figured out, on being the one who rises above, who sees clearly while everyone else is drowning in emotion. Admitting they're drowning too. Admitting they're just as lost, just as scared, just as desperate for connection as everyone they've quietly judged for being too emotional. That's not just vulnerability, that's ego death. And here's the sentence nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to. You're not rising above emotions. You're running from being ordinary. Because the emotions you're so carefully observing, they're not the problem. The problem is that feeling them fully, feeling them the way everyone else does, means you're not special anymore. You're not evolved. You're not above it. You're in it. Messy, human, real. And that terrifies you more than any emotion ever could. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of innovation, rebellion, individuality. And Saturn, traditionally structure, control, boundaries. That's the contradiction right there. They're wired to be different, to break from convention, to see what others can't see. But they're also wired to control, to structure, to maintain order. So, they innovate their way into emotional isolation. They rebel against feeling by turning it into thinking. They use their gift for seeing patterns to build a cage they call freedom. The air element means they're supposed to flow, to connect, to communicate. But air without warmth is just cold space, empty, distant. That's Aquarius. Floating above their own life, convincing themselves the view is worth the loneliness. And it's not. It never was. Stop observing yourself for 60 days. When an emotion hits, don't name it. Don't analyze where it came from. Don't create a framework. Just let it be there. Cry if you need to. Rage if you need to. Love without understanding why. It'll feel like dying. That's how you know it's working. Write this down and don't intellectualize it. What am I actually afraid will happen if I lose control? Not philosophically. Specifically, the answer is usually, I'll be ordinary. I'll be weak. I'll be like everyone I've looked down on for not having emotional regulation. Face it. Pick one person you trust and tell them, I need to feel something and I need you to not let me explain it away. Then feel it in front of them. Let them see you. Be human. Resist every urge to turn it into analysis. This will be the hardest thing you've ever done. Find a therapist who specializes in somatic work, not talk therapy, not intellectual processing. Someone who'll make you feel things in your body before your brain can intervene. Because your brain has been running this show for too long. It's time to feel your way through something instead of thinking your way around it. Their detachment isn't about you. It's about them being terrified of being human. When they intellectualize their feelings, it's not because they don't care. It's because caring without control feels like falling. They're not above emotions. They're terrified of them. Tell them, I don't need you to understand what you're feeling. I'd feel it some while try. Most will retreat further into analysis, not because they don't love you, but because being ordinary feels worse than being alone. If you're Aquarius and you're angry, good. That's an emotion. Don't analyze it. Just feel it.